Where's the stream at? It's right here. Just taking a few minutes to get ready. Hey, Desi. Hey, Nish. Trebs. Oh no, Raiders scatter. Be right back, y'all. This is Delta Green. No, I changed it. Give me a second. God. Ask me all these questions. Alright. So let's see how this goes. Damn, when will he return? I'm already freaking out. So we'll see how scuffed this is, because I was running into some issues just before I started up the stream. Nij, I don't know how you get the old Spirit City lo-fi to play in the background, but in my testing thereof, it's not particularly running that well. So we'll see. Hopefully sound-wise it's not too loud and I'm loud enough and all that shit. Looks like we're okay. Alright, so let me make sure we got all our stuff up, ready to roll. We got our water. We got our lo-fi. We pet the hamster, and then we switch it over to the real scene, I suppose. Where are you, OBS? There you are. Let me close some of this shit down. Too many windows open. Too many problems happening. Save this. Close that. Good to go. Good to go. It was this one. This is the one we're working with. So we got a little lo-fi in the background. We'll add in some nice typing. Cut it down a little bit. Maybe some... Rain's the good. Hey Tar, how you doing? You're bald. I am bald. Yes, I've told you before I'm bald. Do we? Do not hit me with the hi. I'm good. Good. I'm doing well. Today's mostly going to be a pretty chill stream. I'm going to be writing down some ideas, coming up with some stuff for like solo RPGs, which if you guys aren't familiar with, I've gotten into them recently. So if you play stuff like D&D or that kind of thing with the group, this is a kind of the way to do it on your own. and still have it be interesting and fun. Ravi. Rantaluin. Hey, Desi. Also, if you guys do follows and stuff, and I miss it, it's because I have not fixed my my stuff. And I see that Desi followed. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really need to get on that. I'll do that before the next stream, which will probably end up being the Delta Green stream when we do another one of those. Who knows, though? Who knows? We'll see. We're gonna be scatterbrained today. We're gonna be all over the place. So I hope you're alright with that. Let's get some wind. Yeah. Even this dude streaming. Yeah, I feel like streaming sometimes. Sometimes it just be that way. Alright. So, today, what are we doing? We are working on a Zelda-like level. Zelda-like world. Specifically something Tears of the Kingdom-ish. We're calling it Eldor. We might change the name around. That's not a definite thing yet. We just liked how it looked. So one of the first things we're gonna do is we're gonna look at some like touchstone ideas, some stuff we think of when we think of Tears of the Kingdom. And I guess I should also say, if you have played Tears of the Kingdom, don't tell me how it ends. I've not beaten the game, but I have been inspired to like play in a realm like that, play in a world like that, make some characters in a situation, go through that, have some fun with it, you know? Do a little bit more than what you get in the games. Maybe put my own twist on it, we'll see. So touchstone-wise, I've been looking at stuff like, stuff that reminds me of the game. It ends with credits. Somebody shoot that guy. Get him out of my chat. So the first thing I thought of was like, we got like Magitech. We got some crazy like rock robot peoples. Dude, I'm gonna spoil Tears. Tears don't spoil, Mish. You bottle them up and you keep them. Such sweet suffering. Now that I'm not a red name, I'm safe. You are a mod though, and that is, you are legally required to call people kitten in the chat. So we got Lovely Lands. We think of that too, because man, I love exploring in those games. We got the Overgrown Ruins, stuff lost to the Calamity. I think of horse riding across like vast places, chasing enemies, helping keep people safe from monsters that are wandering around, because they're pretty prolific in the games. We want our big monster battles. We want something Dark Soulsy. We like that kind of stuff. Throw a little bit of, Elden Ring or Dark Souls in there. We want a big-ass underground area. We want the floating sky islands, which I guess that's implied. But we'll put floating in there. We don't want big, like, towns or, like, big cities. But we do want some bigger settlements here and there, and then some scattered hamlets and that kind of thing to interact with. And we wanted to kind of do something of like going, the classic Zelda, go from one place to the next, bring everybody together, come together, beat the big bad. Hey Mel, how you doing? And we wanted sort of like a beautiful ruination, like kind of the same thing you think of with The Last of Us or games like that, where you have like overgrown stuff and it's nature's come and take things back. So these are just kind of things I thought of beforehand. We're gonna attempt to do some of that, and we're gonna attempt to fill some of the sandbox with sand. These are just our touchstones on what we think the game should be like, and what stuff we look back to see how it goes. So, we're going to be using the fate check for figuring things out here. Let me see if I can actually get thing for that. I don't know if I can show you guys this because it is paid content. Need you to check a few things while I'm at it. Alright. What's up? Check the sound, check something. What am I checking? Anyways, while you're looking at that, while you're talking mad shit to me, as is your right, by the way, let's figure this out. So, the way a typical fate check works is we got 2d10s. I'm rolling physical dice here, so you won't see that. You're gonna have to trust me on this one that I'm telling you the truth. You add them together, and you ask questions of the Oracle, and the Oracle tells you whether or not something is true or not. So what we do know, actually, hang on. I think I might have more info here as well. I don't know if that shows up. That probably doesn't show up. Alright, that's fine. We don't need that to show up necessarily. I just need to be able to look at this for some stuff that I had predetermined when I was working on it earlier. So, let's copy this over to the world building archive that I'm working in now. We'll do new note NPCs. So these are characters that we'll potentially run into, you know, important big players. So these are the ones I've come up with so far. And I would actually argue he probably needs to be pulled up higher. So who's our Ganon? Our Ganon is Malumbral. Right here, the Umbral Eclipse. What does that mean? We don't know yet. Sounded cool. We went with Rule of Cool. We did decide that we'd go sort of a Breath of the Wild kind of slant on things. So we had like a previous king of Arlova, which is a land in Eldor, King Leonhart. And he had his court and his daughter, who is our Zelda analog, Elizabeth, who's been kidnapped and missing for about 6 months. Waldemar is the noble in the king's court who was under Malumbral's influence and was corrupted and caused a coup, killed the king, and set the calamity in motion. So we know that much has happened. Captain Gebhardt was from a previous try at making this world in a different system, in a Dominion system. We like him. We might keep him. We'll put him in a state of unsure whether he's a real boy or not. But for sure, these four are players. We've got our Ganon. We've got our Aghanim, I suppose. Ooh. Oh, we got our king, who is deceased, which we should note that. The man's is dead. Deceased, killed by Waldemar and his men. We are going to say she has been missing... Is 6 months too long? 6 months I feel is too long for her to be missing. We will look into that. So what I'm using is Mythic Emulator, Mythic GM Emulator to figure this stuff out. And the way you use a Mythic Emulator is you roll 2d10, you ask a question, and whether you roll high or low, that determines whether something is a yes or a no. There's, I believe, 4 possible answers you can get. You can get a yes and a no. You can get an exceptional yes, and you can get an exceptional no. Essentially, the difference in those is an exceptional yes or no is that, but greater. So let's think of an example. If I was asking, is the door that we're checking trapped? You'd roll. The Oracle will tell you what the GM would tell you. If you get an 11 or more by adding the 2 dice together, that's a yes. If you get an 18, 19, or 20, so the last 3, that's an exceptional yes. You roll high, really high, you get that exceptional yes. So that would mean, yes, the door is trapped. And if you get the exceptional yes, yes, the door is trapped, and it goes off as you're checking. Or something happens as you check it. It's essentially amplifying whatever it is you see or have. So 10 or less is a no. If you get a 2, a 3, or a 4, that's an exceptional no. What that would mean is, in this case, I would interpret that to be, no, the door's not trapped, and there's nothing behind it. So you would check the next room, and there would be no encounter based on this. Anytime you roll doubles, that means a random event happens. And we'll get to that when we worry about that. We won't have random events while we're dealing with filling the sandbox with sand by answering questions and looking into stuff. But you can also weight your questions based on how likely you think something is. The most you would weight it is a +5, and the lowest you could weight would be a -5. If you're kind of certain, it'd probably be like a +4. If you think it's likely, not a 50-50, but a likely, +1. Stuff like that. So if I thought it's likely this door is trapped, you know, we've been in this place before and these guys would protect everything that they have, then of course you think it's going to have traps in it. Still a possibility it wouldn't be, but more likely that it is. So, essentially what I'm doing today is asking these questions of the Oracle on the setting. So we're thinking about historical background, stuff that's happened before, and organizing that a little bit in our notes and figuring out what's happened, what we know, what our character knows. Because our character is Conrad, and he's not really Link, per se. The way we've made him is we've turned him in sort of a showboat fighter who's worked in like a gladiatorial arena for a long time. He's very charismatic and is good at fighting. Hey, Ty. Welcome. So let's see. What do we want to ask? What do we need to know? Do I have any previously written notes on this? I don't think I do. I believe I erased it because I wanted to start from scratch. We've got names for our races, which I suppose we can throw those down as well. For the people of Arlova. And we'll make another note for that. I suppose we could just put it in here, right? We'll do groups. We'll toss that in. So this is technically a single, so we'll do that. Bump this down to a double. Do these into triples. Just some heading work here. I think we have a name change for one of these, though. One I'm unsure of. I went with the Roshara for the Gyarados women, but I'm also kind of into calling them the Vatara, or the Vatara. I don't know how we don't know how we'll say it. We like it though. There's something about it. Maybe we'll do it less as. Maybe we'll throw in an H. I kind of like that. We haven't decided yet. The Shinari are our Sheikah. The Arlevins are like the Hylians. The Garak will be our Gorons. The Rutoth will be our Zora. The Arulo are the Rito. And the Shalumbra are the Yiga clan. The people that broke off from the Shinari and became, you know, a cult of Malambral. So we know about them. Did I do that right? I did it right. Okay, good. So we want to go down here. We go back to this. Call this questions. And we will go about it this way. So, and if anyone has questions or whatever, feel free to ask me. I will do my best to answer them. Let's see, what's our question? This is the correct way, right? Yeah. So this is callouts for Obsidian. I just like the way they look. We want to do some cool formatting so it's pleasing to look at, because when everything you're doing is based almost solely on typing, you kind of want it to look a little bit nice. Do I want this? I do want the timer. Let's see. What time is it? 10:20. We'll do at least an hour. So we'll do like 5 minutes. That's a 30-minute overall. And we'll get that started. We do it now. So there we go. So we're only going to do 2 sets of this. We're not going to do too much tonight, but we wanted to get a little bit of work done. So questions we need to ask for the world. What do we need to ask? Well, do we know what caused the calamity? Or catastrophe, whatever we want to call it. I haven't figured out a... I feel like calling calamity is a little too on the nose, but maybe we'll call it the catastrophe. Hello? I'm drunk? So, I would say it's fairly common. I feel like it'd be pretty common knowledge for people to know that. So I think it's likely, at least. We'll give it a +1, see what we get. We got an 8, so that's a 9. 9 is a no. So I think people are aware of some things. Not everything is known. What happened? I think it's fair to say that they know that Waldemar was involved, and so it was Malambral, which I can't remember if that was 1 or 2. It's 1, okay. However, it was largely lost. What happened that night? Okay. I don't think we'll do callouts for all of them, but key questions we'll probably throw out, because I kind of want those highlighted, and those are kind of important. So now that we know that, I'm going to open another resource, which is also a paid resource, so I'm not going to show that. We want to know roundabout how long it's been since the catastrophe happened. I believe So I'm using plot unfolding machine for this. How many, how good, how tough. How many, how much. Nope, not those. Okay. So how long has it been since the calamity? I think it needs to be weighted towards it's been a while. But I think we can't get a 10 here because that wouldn't make sense. So we got ourselves an 8. So it's a bit more than expected. The length is a bit more than expected. What do we expect the length of time to have been? Maybe 5 years? So it's a bit more than 5 years. So we'll say we'll be arbitrary with this. Get my D4 out. It's been 9 years. We'll say it's been a decade. It's been 10 years since the catastrophe. Have people made strides rebuilding? Damn, we are very unorganized. Alright, I think it's very likely that people have started rebuilding by this point. In fact, I would say it's nearly certain. We'll do a +4. We got an 8 + 4 is a 12, so that is still a yes. So yes, rebuilding efforts have begun, and we're in the process for at least the latter half of the decade. Let's see. What else do we want to know about? We gotta be careful what we ask here, though, because we don't want any stuff that's gonna essentially narratively destroy us too early. Because there's some questions you just can't ask, because you want to find that out by playing the game, by figuring things out. So we wouldn't want to ask questions like, you know, does Malumbral have Princess Elsabeth? That doesn't make any sense. That kind of ruins the game for you. So we have to be a little bit smart about what we say. Write that down. Taking them notes. Mine's drawing a blank, so let's see. This is sort of the problem that I have with it whenever I get it started, is it's such a big, wide canvas, you can ask about anything. Here's a good question. Have there been issues between the surviving races? I think that's likely, so we'll at least give that a +1. Got a 13, 14, so yes. How many races do I have? I would count the Arlevins and the Shinari essentially similar. Maybe I should have said species. That might be a better way of phrasing it. Hello, don't do that. Species. Watch out. Desi's gonna start playing. Hey, maybe she can join in on the Delta Green. We might have a new agent incoming. Situation green. Desi drop. Got. We'll add a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obviously, they have issues with the cults, but we're talking more specifically against the friendlier races. So we'll just use a D6. Make this simple. 6. So the Rito and 2. The Rito and the Arulo and the Rashara. Interesting. Wonder what that has to do. The Arulo are Corylus with, is that the word? Querulus? Corylus? Help! Google help! Querulus? Complaining in a petulant or whining manner. Let's go just say quarreling. Quarreling with the Rasharans. Rashara. I guess that's plural. Let's find out what this is about. This is something new. Write this down. So, there's another option you have here. When you want to come up with something on the fly that's not a yes or no binary question, right? If you don't know, and you want to figure out, spark some kind of inspiration, what we do is we mine for meaning. There are tables in the Mythic GM emulator where you will roll your 2d10. You will get random words. Typically, you want to have like an action and a description. One from each, or maybe 2 actions as well is fine. And in doing so, you get. Let's see if your alerts. They do not at all. I promise you, I have not set the alerts up. Which is why I have my Twitch page open so I can actually see. Wow. Nish, thank you for the sub, dude. I watch John for his skills in FPSs. You can tell. Look, I could tell too. So, I was just saying earlier, I'll probably get those fixed before our next Delta Green stream. There may be some more of these like small idea streams in between now and then. Can't promise they'll be fixed for that, but before Delta Green, well, I'll try and get those done for that. Anyway, back to mining for meaning. So what we do there is we have a couple of tables that I should have open. There we go. There's 100 words on each. So we're gonna figure out what's the nature of the fight between the Arulo and the Rashara, right? So we roll, we get 75. Release is the first word. And the second word is 50. Release investment. Interesting. Interesting. So we will release investment. And we'll fancy this up so we know these are the words. These are the words of power that have been spoken. So what we do with this is we... What are you doing to me? Get out of here. We take these loosely associated words, we go into the context of whatever it is we're asking, and we throw out what our brain comes up with. So, to me, this reads like one of the two races, release investment, is holding some sort of export of their own. Maybe it's some kind of necessary material or mineral or a food or any kind of export, and they have decided not to give this to the other. So they have a bad relationship off the bat. We could dig deeper into this if we want to find out, are they fighting? Is this gone so bad that they actually are at physical war with each other? Or is this an issue of they just kind of don't like each other right now, like a tariff or something's been put on it. Some sort of material is being held that benefits the other. Now, if we want to figure out what this material is, we will mine for meaning again. You could ask it, is it an ore? I think that would be likely, actually. But for the sake of argument and an example, we'll go to figure out what it is. So the Mythic book comes with all kinds of friggin' tables for meanings and elements and all kinds of stuff like that. Is there something I can use for this? So we've got stuff for characters, character backgrounds, conversation, descriptions, motivations, personalities. None of that's really helpful right now. City descriptor, not really. Civilization descriptor, creature abilities, creature descriptor, curses, cryptic messages, domicile descriptors, dungeons, forests, gods, legends, locations, magic items, mutations, names, noble house, objects. Objects is possible. Objects is possible. Powers, scavenging results, smells, sounds, spell effects, starships, terrain descriptions, visions and dreams, undead descriptions, and that's all that comes in the base one. So we'll go back to objects, see if we can't find something that makes sense within this. So we'll roll twice on it, at least once. If we get a good one on the first one, we'll stick with that. So, 92. Whatever it is, it's something unpleasant. I don't think that's enough for us to know, so we'll roll again. We rolled 69, nice. It's official. Something used in an official capacity that is unpleasant. What does that mean? Interesting. Official, unpleasant. I can't type. Help. Well, what do officials need? They need paper. They need ink. They need weapons. If we're thinking laterally, they need troops. They need materials. I think in order to fully hone in on it, I am actually going to do a binary question for it. This is an alternate way you can use the Oracle. If you know of two things that are possible, or that you would expect to be possible. You can say yes means this and no means this. So we're going to say yes means it's a material. We'll say an ore in this case. And no, we will say is a weapon or weapons. So we're going to rate it as a 50-50 because we don't know. So there's no pluses, no minuses. This is just a straight up roll. We got 12. That's a yes. That means it is an ore. An ore is being hoarded by, and we will roll a quick one to see which one is hoarding which. Yes would be the Arula, no would be the Rashara. So we got a 10, that's a no. So the Rasharan embassy or group, the tribe is holding it onto this ore. So that means a desert ore. By the Rashara that the Arula need for... In my brain, the first expectation was, ironically, galvanized steel beams. Thanks, Rem. Because I was thinking of them expanding their tree housing. I would say for housing. So they have, in my mind, I just thought, well, maybe they're like growing their cities, and they need materials to build better housing because they can't house all the bird people. So there's going to be, in my mind, that's a homelessness epidemic that they're dealing with. So we'll have to think, what's the reason the Rashara hold back these materials? Housing leading to a homelessness epidemic in the cold north. Now, do I want to answer this question right now? I think not. I think we hold on to that and we leave that one alone for now. So that gives us some grit between those. I don't think we need to have too much problems between the nations necessarily, because we can always deal with conflict within the nation from outside sources. But I don't dislike the idea of them having to be brought together. So maybe we think of one more thing. Or we just go ahead and toss it on anyways, because it doesn't matter. This is for fun. So let's pick two brand new groups. See what's going on with them. How many do we have left? So if we don't count the Rashara, we'll save this as like a... Oh, that didn't do what I wanted. There we go. As a backup name. We might name a person this. It's kind of a cool name. So we have the Arlevins, Shinari, Garrick, the Rutoth, and that's it. Because we don't... Everyone's at war with these boys. They're dickheads. No one cares about them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got a D4 then. That makes things simple. 1, the Arlevins, and not the Arlevins. That doesn't make sense. And the Shinari. Interesting. So what is the nature of the dispute between... There's also a dispute between the Arlevan and the Shinari. We'll put this as Arlo versus Rashara. We'll leave it like that. Alright, so this one is Arlevan versus Shinari. So we're going to mine for meaning again. We're going to see what we get. Let's see. We go back to the actions table. So what's the nature of the dispute between these two? We get 54. Indulge. 22. Indulge distraction. Indulge distraction. How do we make do with this? Interesting. Some screws from the odd too. Bow, 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 bow. Indulgence of distraction. If any ideas come to mind for you guys, feel free to throw them in the chat. Oh, but not right now because I'm on break. Union mandated break. Our brain is not allowed to think about anything for 5 minutes. So, so what's going on? What are you guys up to? You having a good day? We need a different soundtrack. We've been listening to the same one for too long. Oh, let's do the classic one. That one has... I fucking love the Black Coffee song. It's so good. This whole one. Union mandated breaks are solid. Yes. Yes, they are. Has this been running okay in the background? I actually haven't even looked at my OBS all that much. It looks like it in the background. Because when I tested it earlier, it was just kind of pausing the game and not showing anything. So I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. Glad to see that it looks like it is. Also, shout out Snidge. Thank you for sending me the tutorial on how to crop the screen to put over top of the other. Let me lock these two so I don't move shit around like a dumbass. I feel like I'm doing pretty okay on progressing this. I do a little bit more when it's, you know, just me thinking, because I'm not having to necessarily talk out loud. I'm just thinking about it, and I'm not explaining things either. But that's sort of the nature of the beast when you're streaming this kind of thing. This is the exact same process you'd use as well, Rem, when it comes to playing Shin Megami when it comes out. I'll help you work through it. This I'm using now is more for like world building and figuring out how you want your world to be. But the same skills will be used to actually play the game. And you're going to want to get fairly decent at some note-taking software or writing it down, because you're going to have some kind of record of what you're doing. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Maybe switch up. Let's switch up the boy. I do like the new Hamstar. But I also kind of like the old Waxolotl. We gave him Ninja Turtle colors.
Let's go.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom because I got maybe a minute or so left. So I'll be right back. Oh god. Alright, I'm back. Good. I knew my timing was gonna be bad. Alright, let's get in there. Did I unmute? I did. Good. Alright. And we're done. And we're done. We're done. And we're back. There we go. So. We didn't think about what indulge distraction means yet. In my mind, the first thing that pops up is the Arlevins are more into their courtly intrigue, and they're indulging in that, so to speak, than the actual problem of dealing with Malumbra. And I think that's left them at odds with the Shinari, who are battling with the Shalambra and dealing with, you know, his minions and mooks. And I think that's a good one. We can go with that. I think the Arlevins are not, for the most part, taking it seriously. Arlevins are more concerned with courtly matters and expansion than dealing with the growing darkness that the Shinari have been fighting against all these years. What would that effect be? Would it be distrust? Displeasure at best? I'd say this has left a division between the two. That leads to how do I want to phrase this? Leads to problems when meeting. That's the best way my brain can put it right now. Good job, brain. Alright, so between that, I think we're fine. So the Garak, the Goron people, they've got their own problems and I suppose the Zora do as well. But these others, they're having some issues with each other. Now this isn't a direct issue necessarily. We could have gone that route. I think it's a little bit more interesting to see like a slight difficulty here, and with the Arulo and the Rashara, I think we have a bit of a bigger issue to tackle when we play the game. We'll also have to figure out what this ore is. What is the ore? So these are just ideas to throw down, and we'll highlight those as well so we know, hey, these are things that we need to tackle, because we don't know the answer to that yet. I don't think there's anything we need to tackle with this one. So, alright. So we've got a little bit more sand in the sandbox. We know the catastrophe happened about 10 years ago. Since then, I don't think Malumbral's been seen. I think that's fair to say. Especially with their expectations that, you know, people are expanding and growing a little bit. I think there's this sense of, well, he hasn't been seeing, or it hasn't been seen. I don't even know if we have a gender for it yet. Sorry, my brain was thinking about like a sexy lady Ganondorf, and I was like, damn. We don't need to go that route. We might be a villain. My villain arc starts now. And you also can't be playing this saxophone while I'm talking about that. That's not right. So, what else do we want to know about this world? So we have distinct biomes. Each group lives in a distinct biome. I don't know how much more we need to do that. So the Arlevins are like your grasslands. The Rashara are your desert people. The Shinari, I think, are mountain folk. Mountain and forest folk. Volcanic and mountain as well. So there might be some overlap between the Garak and the Shinari. The Zora would be lakes and rivers. The Arulo are in snowy snow tundra of the north, but there's groups all over. There'll be people that come down, and maybe some pockets of them in other places, but I think the primary groups are going to be in these areas. We don't know where the Shalumbra are based. Unknown biome. We'll make it part of the game trying to figure out where they are, so we can put a stop to things. That'll be fun. We can do a hex crawl or something like that. Explore the maps, explore the world, try to figure out what's going on, help out these people. Let's see. Here's a good question. Has Malumbral, or his cult, been affecting? Is it affecting or effecting? I always forget this, because I feel like affecting is when it's the verb, and effecting is when it's more descriptive. Affecting. Effect versus effect. That's literally what I'm looking for. Effect with an A is usually a verb meaning to produce an effect upon, as in the weather affected his mood. Okay, so an effect is usually a noun meaning a change. Okay. Okay. So I had that originally correct in my mind, but I'm getting old. Has been affecting. weather in these areas. Because I think back to those games, and I do distinctly remember there being some issue with that. I told the REM to take more notes. Wow. I rolled without even asking a question. Well, no, I asked the question. I didn't give it odds. So we'll leave this as 50-50, since I didn't actually say it. I rolled a 9 and a 4, which is a 12. No. 13? Yes. Basic math. It's good to know. So that's a yes. To me, that reads expectation-wise, and you'll learn this if you ever do this. A lot of the way Mythic runs is based on your expectations, and then giving you some changes and alterations therein. So each area has had amplified issues with weather. We may want to know more about the issues of what caused the catastrophe or how the catastrophe happened, right? This will be history, and our character may not know this, but will know this. So let's jump back and figure that out, because this will help us figure out how the land's going to be different, how things are going to be changed. Because in my mind, I'm sort of thinking portals of darkness. We could have places where there's corruption. Oh, that also reminds me. We gotta add the Fae in here. I think this is a 3. Is this a 3? Yeah, it's 3. Do 3. The Fae. Because no Zelda game is complete with, I still think it's wild you're rolling physical. I like my physical dice, dude. I like touching them. No homo. Alright. I do have a program that I can use, and I may use in the future. If you guys want to physically see the dice, I could either do Tabletop Simulator and roll that way, or I could do it on a little program called Sophie's Dice, which, do I have that on my hard drive right now? I thought I offloaded that onto one of my externals, but if I did not, I can utilize that. That's no problem. Okay, no, I got it on here. It's a Unity thing. I don't know where on the screen I would put it. Where would I put it on the screen? Let's give it a try and see, right? And if this starts like overheating my laptop, we'll go back to physical dice, because I seem to remember this like causing a bit of that. So we may have to be a little careful. Sophie's dice. I see you. No dice. We need 2D. Why do you look like this? 2d10. 1, 2. And if we add that to the scene, game capture, I guess, maybe window capture. Sophie's dice. which looks like it's correct. Why does it look crazy? Hello? Did I pick the wrong thing? No, it says it's correct. Damn, it's not working, huh? Maybe we gotta do a game capture window for this. Well, I said it was gonna be scuffed. So now you see the scuff. Alright, so it's not showing up correctly for me, so I'm assuming it's not showing up correctly for you guys. Because it's just showing my OBS like a crazy person. So we'll go game capture. We'll call it Sophie's Dice. Capture any full screen? Hell no. Capture a specific window. Sophie's Dice. Okay. And it's huge. So we'll put it up there. So now you can see it when I roll it. So we grab it and give it a little Or we can do it this way. And it'll always bring them together, so you guys should be able to see it fairly easily now. I don't think I need to have this open anymore. Can I close it? Yes. I kind of don't like the D10 colors here, but you know what? I'll live with it. I kind of wasted time by thinking about it, so we'll just go with what we got. So we head back. We head back in. We can close this other obsidian. I don't need it right now. All right, we were saying we need to know a little bit more about what's going on here. So we want to find out the nature of how things were going. So, or what he was doing, what Malumbra was doing. Do I have something specific for this? Maybe. Let's figure out our question. What did Malumbra Voldemar utilize to... Well, utilize might not be the right word, because that seems like we're figuring out what he's using to start the do. What was the nature of Voldemar's apocalypse? I'm actually somewhat thinking we might take this and break it out into a callback. Question. So we'll go here, do that. These reset, so we fix that. Because this is a big question to ask. So let me look at my... Do we want to use the action meeting table? Or do we want... There was the cursed table. That might have something of interest. Character actions. Combat. Civilization descriptors. That actually could help us. Down the road, not right now. Curses. So what kind of words we got in curses? Because maybe there was a curse involved, right? I don't see why not, right? Let's give it a try. We don't like it, we nix it, we axe the thing, and we use the other stuff. No reason we can't do that. So let's go in the middle, toss it up like crazy, see what we get. 21. I kind of need one of these to be a different color. Or we can always say whatever the leftmost dice is the tens place, and whatever's the second is the single digit. So 21 is what we got, right? Death. That's a pretty good curse so far. Whatever it was related to death. And 82. Death passion. Death passion. Does that mean anything? That reads to me like zombification a bit. But we're not sure we like that answer. We can work with that though, if that's what we're given. It doesn't have to be like literal. Perhaps it's like puppetry. Ooh, what if it's like a soul death? Okay, we're working with something here. A great spell of soul death was cast, leaving behind empty shells for the shadows? For the shadowy beings to possess. And maybe this is how the Shell Umbra formed. I think it was a mix of both willing and unwilling. I think it has to be more than that, though. Because this would have to be a targeted spell. Something that affected only specific groups. And how would this kind of apocalypse look? This throws things in a very interesting twist, because I'm trying to imagine what it would be like to have like a great spell like this go off and just displace the soul of someone. Or kill it outright, we don't know. And all that's left is a person in a vegetative state. And then trying to take care of said loved one. And then having something else take over it. Have them come back as a completely different person. That would make sense from a... Well, how would he do it? Would he be like a Lich's phylactery? Would he like trap the souls of all the people in like a great... Oh. Maybe. That's interesting. That's very dark, though. Do we want to go this dark for a Zelda game? Are we going more Majora's Mask? I think we cut back on this. I think we rein it in a bit. As much as I like going the dark fantasy route, I've done it too many times. And one of the things I was thinking when I started this is I wanted to have something... Nij, I know your answer to this. The problem is I wanted to try something different. The problem is that my brain goes to dark places. So when I come up with answers like this, I get dark answers. So maybe it's not a soul death. It tells me I'm done, but I'm not done. But I guess we could do like a 5-minute break. So Nij wants me to go dark. Mine goes to dark, right? Like it's basically berserk in my brain every time I start something like this, and it's like, what's the most terrible thing that can happen within reason? Death passion could also be a loss of emotion for people. And then you could get something Slaneshi like from Warhammer, where they're trying to feel anything, and they go to great lengths to hurt people to feel any sort of pleasure. But that gets pretty dark as well. I don't think I said it, but I did roll something ahead of time that I don't think is on this particular obsidian. I think it's on the other obsidian. That Malumbral has in the darkness below a fortress, some kind of like building or something like that. And in my mining for meaning, I asked what this fortress did, because this was in relation to the apocalypse as well. That a great location was built down there, and that the location had to do with healing his military. So I feel like he is either replenishing his troops down there somehow, or they are literally brought back and healed by something in there. Could be a great crystal, could be a curse put on the land from there that we have to break. Could be a council of cult wizards. I didn't look into it too deeply, but I like that idea, and I think we do go with that, because that gives us purpose to go down below at some point into the darkness and figure out what's going on down there, and that'll be interesting to track. But I feel like that's something we do after we get, you know, people on our side. Let me see if I actually... I think it's in there, the solo one. I've been reorganizing my lists, and in doing so, it has made me forget where certain things are. There's old Conrad. Okay, so we did not write it here. Did we write it on the workbench? No, we did not write it on the workbench. We did not write it here. We already did those. Well, I don't remember where that was, but I did do it, so I am going to utilize it. So we need to make a note in here. Malumbrel has a great building of some sort down in the depths that heals, replenishes his military might. So it functions to me somewhat like the Blood Moon did in the games. So maybe we'll give it a clock of some sort, that when the clock fills, he gets, you know, replenishment sent, and we can deal with like factional fights over land and stuff like that. So, you know, we'll when it replenishes, we'll get new units for him to send out onto the map to help fight. And that could be really fun, actually. Have him try to conquer stuff on the hexes and have to fight back against it. Could almost treat it sort of Fire Emblem-like in that way. I think that'd be cool. I'm unsure to do with this Death Passion, though. Maybe we toss it. Y'all got any insight? Y'all think of anything for that? Does it make you think of anything? I suppose we could also read it as Passion for Death, which would be like a death cult. Like, his fanatics are willing to die. Cults is the win, you think? Because we need a happy medium. I can't go too dark with this. Or at least I don't want to. So a cult is kind of fun. Oh, how about this? A great spell of power was cast, leaving... Not leaving behind something for them to be possessed. Leaving his followers empty of emotion. And devoted. And fanatical to the point of death. We can work with that. founding of the Shalombra? Oh, we could ask that. Was this the founding of the Shalombra? I think that's slightly likely, so we'll add a +1 to this. Oh, and I'm not rolling physical. I've got the thing on screen. I forgot. My bad. Calm down, guys. Alright, so we got +1 to whatever this is. We add these together. So 5, 6. No. No, this was not. And I think that makes sense, actually, from a narrative standpoint. The cult realized it needed those with passions and emotions to infiltrate and sabotage. So it promised power to those that would bend the knee. Bend the knee. I think that makes sense. How does that look from a... Does this look hideous? Does this look fucked up? Let's do a bolding of this. We will add an empty spot there. And we'll add this as a italicized, so we know that's added, additional. So this is what we know about the apocalypse as the GM and player. I don't know how much my character knows. I will say once I end stream, I will probably continue this before my next. So, if I do that, I'll probably get about as much work done as I have today in the long run. Because I'm a slow worker when it comes to this. I'm a thinker. I'm a ponderer. You know, that's just how it be. And some of it's also actually going back in and editing and formatting this to make it look decent. Appearance. We're using Sandstorm right now. As much as I like Sandstorm, I kind of want to switch to something else for a while. I don't remember using this one. How does this one look? Use this thing. Okay, so this is kind of the classic look. Not as big a fan of it though for this. Ukiyo I think was pretty alright, but it's a little... unsure. Well, I'm a little unsure. Terminal's cool, but I don't think it fits. So maybe we stick with what we got then. What was violet even? Oh, that's very blue. That's after looking at the other one, this one almost hurts my eyes. What about? I did like Obsidian Nord and Obsidian Night, so maybe we install both of those. I used this one for quite a while. I like it. Nord's a bit lighter. Yeah, this isn't bad. Let's stick with this. What else do we want to work on tonight? What else do we need to know about our world? We know about the conflict. We know a little bit more about the apocalypse. We don't want to ask stuff that's too specific. We want to discover some things as we go and play the game. We know there's at least one big hub for each group. So we'll have to come up with some names and stuff for their capitals, so to speak. And maybe heads of, I guess, state, for lack of a better term. Head of their tribes. We know that the monsters are pretty common. Oh, actually, I had an idea for this indulge distraction. Let me do it this way. Due to the vigilance of the Shinari, the Arlevans have enjoyed relative peace for the past few years. And I feel like that's probably what's led to their feeling of safety. They're starting to feel like they can rebuild better, and they're more worried about dumb shit that you should not be worried about. And they've become a bit more insular. I like that. I think we can work off of that. So can't have this wind anymore. This wind is killing me. It's putting me to sleep. It's too calming. Get out of here. It's making me on, dude. What if we go to the custom music player? No, don't play that. It was like, shit, what's it called? DCLX Gaming. I do that sometimes, dude. Sometimes the tongue gets going when you're gaming. It gets you a little, you know how it goes. Ladies. What was the name of that? There was like a playlist I used to listen to sometimes. They got me hyped for playing shit. No, I didn't save it? Oh, no, I did. How do I pull that up in here? Yeah, boy. View the full playlist. Let's go. Let's go.
Enter a prompt here.
No. No,
Okay,
I've
can't be
been
that
cursed.
hard.
Stop, stop. Okay, thank you. Hey. No, don't use it. I just want to close the music. There we go. Let's go, Curse! This is normally the type of stuff I'd listen to while I play, because it makes me wanna be a witcher. It's good fight music, actually. Alright, what do we need to know? Yeah, he does, Ty. It was one of the options. I like this one a lot. I only have the base colors and this one. But I really like the Ninja Turtle version. It's cool. I'm running dry on ideas. Thinking power. We might have to stop the stream pretty soon. But I do want to do these more often. I like using these as a means to getting work done for this. I kind of wish the volume for this worked a bit better. It forces me to go like into the web browser to fix it. You can't use this down here. Should do this more often? I probably will. I think we'll start slow and steady, do like some short, like hour, 2 hour streams. Work at it. Unless we're playing. Playing might take a little bit longer. And it depends on our, how we get into it. Yeah, I think we might be done for the night. I need a break and I need to eat, and my brain is not working anymore. So thanks for coming and hanging out, y'all. I don't know if I'm gonna raid. Is there anyone to raid on right now? How do I even look at Twitch? No, 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 no. No, no, no. Oh, it looks like Tarshina. You can raid her? Riri. Riri? Raid channel. Yes? Okay. Alright. I will raid her. We'll send you guys over to some more DBD shenanigans. We'll do it again soon, though. Hope it was not entirely too boring, because I know it's kind of a dry content. Once it gets going, it's fun, though. Anyway, we gonna raid. Get ready. Any final words, Nish? Too late. There's no time. There's just no time. Ah!